Pioner is an open-world first-person shooter set on a post-apocalyptic Soviet-era island. It features PvE and PvP gameplay with a strong emphasis on realism, requiring players to manage survival elements such as eating and resting. The game includes a faction system, crafting, and weapon customization, all within a 50-square-kilometer map filled with mutants and anomalies.
It is extraordinary that you survived the attack of the tide. It would have turned anyone in your place into a fallen or a pile of ashes. But as you see, that didn't happen to you. You are safe and sound.
So, Rookie, how are you feeling? Are you ready to prove yourself worthy? I only need those in high spirits, you know what I mean? Bright-eyed specialist in anything and everything. I'm sick and tired of whining old bastards. The role of an emissary is just a cover. What I really need is an agent. Research, observe, kill, interrogate.
State of Decay 3 is the next installment in the popular open-world zombie survival series, developed by Undead Labs. Utilizing the power of Unreal Engine 5, the game promises significant improvements in visual fidelity, animation quality, and overall gameplay experience. The setting moves to a wintry, post-apocalyptic environment where players must manage a community of survivors, scavenge for resources, and fend off both human and animal zombies.
Surrounded. They're everywhere. There's way more than I was expecting.
And even if we bought the other survivors just one more day, the sacrifice would be worth it. It would always be worth it. And that helped us find the courage to keep going, to fight on. When we needed it the most.
The Casting of Frank Stone is an upcoming single-player narrative-driven horror game developed by Supermassive Games, known for titles like Until Dawn and The Dark Pictures Anthology. Set in the Dead by Daylight universe, this game takes players to the small town of Cedar Hills, Oregon, where the legacy of the sadistic serial killer Frank Stone continues to haunt the community.
Coming?
Yeah.
The footage was thought to be lost. It now resurfaces. For the first time.
What is it?
Evil comes for all. A Christine Gordon film.
Check it.
Starring Jaime Rivera and Christine Gordon. With Linda Castle, Robert Green, and Bonnie Rivera.
We gotta get out of this place! We gotta get out of here right now! We gotta go!
Dare you enter Murder Mill.
Into the Dead. Our Darkest Days is a side-scrolling shelter survival game set in 1980s Texas, developed by Pickpock. The game is part of the Into the Dead franchise and places players in the midst of a zombie outbreak in Walton City. Players must guide a group of survivors from refuge to refuge, scavenging for supplies, crafting weapons, and managing the group's physical and psychological needs to survive.
Now, there's no turning back. We have to work together and survive long enough to escape this city.
no matter what it takes.
Karma: The Dark World is a first-person cinematic psychological thriller set in a dystopian 1984 East Germany, developed by Pollard Studio and published by Wired Productions. Players step into the shoes of Daniel McGovern, a Rome agent for the Leviathan Corporation's Thought Bureau. The game challenges players to solve puzzles and uncover the truth behind a series of strange events in a city dominated by the omnipresent Leviathan Corporation.
To immediately enjoy the life-changing benefits of this technological wonder, call this number now to reach our customer service team that are waiting to assist you with your order.
Your newborn social ID is 8490.
Begin, Rome.
3, 2, 1. Synchronization complete.
Retrieval is a sci-fi survival horror action adventure game developed by 333 Studios. The game centers on Hannah Losch, a commander of a research team stationed on an alien planet nearly 29 billion kilometers from Earth. Players must navigate through a hostile environment filled with abominations lurking beneath the planet's surface, uncovering the mysteries and horrors that lie in wait. With a strong emphasis on cinematic storytelling and atmospheric tension, Retrieval aims to provide an intense and immersive experience.
This wasn't an accident. All this to start our new life.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is an upcoming first-person shooter developed by Saber Interactive and published by Focus Entertainment. Set in a near future where an experiment to harness the Earth's core unleashes a monstrous entity called the Sludge God, the game features intense co-op action where players team up to battle hordes of undead creatures. Drawing inspiration from 1980s horror and action films, the game combines over-the-top humor, visceral combat, and a narrative penned by the legendary John Carpenter. No More Room in Hell 2 is an 8-player co-op survival horror game developed and published by Torn Banner Studios. The game is set in a dynamically changing, zombie-infested world where players must work together to survive. It features permadeath, making each decision critical as players scavenge for supplies, complete objectives, and fend off hordes of undead. Forever Winter is an upcoming co-op tactical survival horror shooter developed and published by Fun Dog Studios. Set in a post-apocalyptic world overshadowed by massive war machines, players must scavenge and survive amidst constant threats from both human enemies and mechanical giants. The game emphasizes teamwork and strategy as players loot the dead, manage resources, and navigate a dynamic battlefield affected by the actions of warring factions. Blight Survival is a 4-player co-op action horror roguelike game developed by Pioner Studio. Set in a no-man's land between two warring states, the game introduces players to a medieval world ravaged by a new strain of blight that transforms the dead into monstrous creatures. Players must collaborate to survive against both human enemies and these infected horrors, scavenging for resources and upgrading their arsenal to overcome increasingly challenging threats.
Stop warming your balls and get over here! Hey, are you listening to me?
Sure,
S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chornobyl, is an upcoming first-person shooter and survival horror game developed by GSC Game World. Set in the Chornobyl exclusion zone, players will explore a highly detailed and immersive open-world environment, utilizing the advanced capabilities of Unreal Engine 5 to deliver stunning graphics and a rich atmosphere. The game promises to stay true to the series' roots, offering a mix of intense combat, deep storytelling, and complex survival mechanics.
My men are still lying out there, and I can't even bury them.
Died in an anomaly, shot by loners, found with a stone around his neck, thrown off a cliff, torn apart by dogs. You cannot kill God, just like you cannot get rid of the sky up above. I am blind, but it is you who cannot see.
Project Z, Beyond Order, is an atmospheric first-person co-op zombie shooter set during World War II, developed by 314 Arts and published by Modus Games. The game takes place on a secret Nazi-controlled island, where players uncover the mysteries of Project Z, a Nazi program to turn zombies into weapons to change the tide of the war. is a PvPvE tactical first-person extraction shooter developed and published by Deep Worlds S.A. In this intense game, players form squads to enter hostile environments, secure artifacts, and extract them while facing both AI-controlled anomalies and other player squads. The game emphasizes tactical gameplay, horror elements, and immersive visuals, pushing players to their limits with a steep learning curve.
And here you are, on the edge of the Creator. Listening to the echoes of a written story. See. The world will collapse, and while you stand in the midst of nothingness.
Once Human is a multiplayer open-world survival game developed by S.T.A.L.K.E.R Studio. Set in a post-apocalyptic future where the world has been contaminated by an alien substance called stardust, players take on the role of meta-humans who have gained supernatural abilities. The game involves fighting monstrous enemies, uncovering hidden plots, competing for resources, and building territories. Killing Floor 3 is the latest installment in the co-op action, a horror FPS series, developed by Tripwire Interactive. Set in 2091, the game follows the rebel group Nightfall as they battle against the bioengineered monstrosities known as Zeds, created by the megacorporation Horzine. The game retains its signature horde-based combat while introducing new features, including fully customizable weapons, enhanced enemy AI, and environmental traps.